So, hey, everybody, welcome back to the podcast. It's Trent here. I'm here with Mr. Peyton, TACP, I'm assuming. We are here at the TACP RoundUp get-together tonight. So I have a few questions. The first question being, Peyton, with all these TACPs around, what are the odds that I make it out of here without any of my equipment being broken?
Not great tonight. Actually, not great.
I'm a little nervous.
Not great. I would actually put your camera against the wall so people can't get to it.
And apologies for the background noise, but we're in the, what is this? The Old Main Ice House in Cibolo, Texas, where things are going to get a little unhinged tonight, I'm assuming.
I think so. I will not be getting unhinged. I've got a fucking... Can I cuss?
You're fine, yeah.
I gotta drive, bro.
Okay.
I can't. I gotta work out and be a human tomorrow. So I can't.
Age is a funny thing.
It is a funny thing.
Speaking of age and years, right? It's not really a good transition, but you were a TACP for how long?
I was a TACP for 16 years.
Whoa.
And I did 21 years in the Air Force. My mom got dementia real bad. I was actually on a deployment in the 17th. Found out my mom was... This is actually kind of funny because we're in Texas. I grew up in Ohio, and they found my mom a mile away from her house, and they're like, she said she was going to Texas.
Right.
She didn't make it here, but I had to make a decision. So I went guard and did intel for MQ9s or supporting JSOC for the last 4 years of my career. So I retired actually out of the guard, active duty guard, at 21 years.
Okay. So 21 years. So I like how you just nonchalantly drop the 17th on there like it's not a big deal.
Lots of guys. Let me put it this way. I'm very proud of being in the 17th. I wasn't in the 17th the longest, and there's lots of guys who've done way better things, like Tommy Case, who's a 2-time Living Silver Star recipient. So for me to they're way better dudes than me that are here. They're in the 17th, man.
No, I think that's how we all feel, right? I've been going through that whole nostalgic period, of my career lately as I'm getting out, and it's it's hard when people are like, oh, you did great things, and it's like, bro, but have you met these people over here?
Everybody in the room, I'm like, yeah, man, I was there. There's way better people than me.
Well, what are y'all doing out here this week? You had the weapons thing and all that.
Yeah, so the career field has what I call the TACP Weapons Systems Summit. And I don't want to be reductive and say it's like WEPTAC right? But I think it's for it's only for the TACP career field. They're kind of figuring out their way forward, their priorities, how they want to structure things. And especially as they're going through kind of a reorg as a community, there's probably some things they got to discuss. So I'm out here as an industry partner is all.
Okay. So change, it happens all the time because so doing the podcast, there's a lot of people that are like, oh, things are changing and it's, these career fields are going away. But is this unusual to go through a reorg?
I don't think so, man. If you look at any, not to trivialize it like a business, because it's not a business, it is and it isn't. Every organization, as things change, you've got to adapt, right? And while it has consequences, right? People are losing their job in the context. Some guys are just the TACP, their unit is going away,
right?
So that has actual legitimate consequences to guys who all they ever want to do is be a TACP. Right. I can fully understand the devastation and the disappointment and the frustration. Absolutely, I'd be furious, right?
Yeah.
If all I want to do is be a TACP and call airstrikes, yeah, we actually we're gonna kill your unit and you can go screw off now. Which I'm sure there's more truth in that. The leaders and the people who made the decisions, I'm sure had way more empathy to that decision.
Right.
But I think the change makes a lot of sense personally, right? I'm not against it. But I also don't like seeing my friends lose jobs or get to lose anyway. So it's a tough one.
Yeah.
But the career field's not being ruined in my opinion. And I'm a retired guy, so it doesn't really matter what my opinion is. But I don't think the career field's being ruined. I think it's being made better personally.
Yeah.
So I think it's I think the way they're managing the TACP mission next is really good.
Well, I don't think that there's ever going to be a time where we don't need people like the TACP community, right? You generate...
never so you ask the more things change, the more things stay the same. There's been a variation or a version of TACP since we had airplanes that can drop munitions. Look at your career field as a combat controller. Where do you trace your lineage back to? Pathfinders, right?
No, I'm a special reconnaissance. I was a weather nerd.
Okay.
Thank you though.
Oh no. But no, even so, so how's SRs evolving too, right? Like that's another conversation. But like, look at combat controllers. Like they trace their lineage back to like Army Pathfinders who jumped into D-Day, jumped into Normandy. I don't like 2-3 days prior, like set up beacons to do. Like, so while that's really reductive, and then everything moves forward. And just like there was a conversation there, one of the Ys was asking like, what's the difference between a FAC and a TACP, and like where did that trade-off happen? Like, so the idea of like what we were when I came in 2000 was originated off this idea that was in Vietnam,
right? And
now the GWAT happened, and a whole bunch of stuff changed, and we got way more TACPs and JTACs and controllers and guys doing these things. And now as strategic parties shift to focus, we've got to shift to focus with those things, right?
Right.
So I get that there's frustration and there's nostalgia.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's a bad thing, personally.
Yeah, well, and I think it is just getting more focused, right, than it used to be. And I think one of the
awesome. Like, dude, some of the stuff like these guys are talking about and the tech they're getting into, and like, I'm like, 0% was I thinking about this as a 19-year-old TACP in 2001, like 0%. Right. And you guys have like E4s and like that are like, I'm like way ahead of me, dude.
Dude, I listen to the young guys in my career field talk, and I'm like, yo, I was just happy to get to the desert and be there, you know?
Yeah.
So, but I think I think we're getting better at looking forward, because like you said, when you came in, like, and even when I joined in like 2003, like Vietnam tactics were still very much a thing, where we're getting way better at forecasting where we're going and stepping out. Well, and I just think it's uncomfortable coming out of GWAT so quickly and making transitions.
Like, but just, I mean, to simplify, look at the training methodology. Like, I came in 2000, 2001. All the cool kids like were like still wearing like silkies, and like we were like had these cotton like just above the knee shorts and like heavy cotton Gildan t-shirts for our PT stuff, and like looking ridiculous.
Yeah. And
now they've got a world-class athletic training facility to make these dudes like monsters.
Right.
So just look at the paradigm shift mentality from like 2 decades ago, like, and it's been continuously evolving. And now you've got a world-class athletic facility for brand new kids off the street. So, like, if you kind of couch it in that perspective, yes, things are going to have to change.
Yep.
If you want to demand more from your warfighter and, like, start to move further, faster, farther, and fight, you know, like, better than anyone else, like, things got to change, man.
That's the way it goes.
It sucks. Like, it sucks, and, like, it's going to be good. Like, there's never going to be a perfect solution.
Yeah.
Ever.
But we're going to have the right people.
Yes.
Always. So I don't want to take up all of your time. I know we're here it's a party, but we always ask if you could give one piece of advice or your best piece of advice to like a 13 to 17-year-old out there thinking about TACP, what would you tell them?
Dude, 13 to 17-year-old, man.
Or these days, honestly, up to like 35, because we get that a lot. Like, how old is too old?
I don't know if it's advice about becoming a TACP, but like, I'm very proud about being a TACP, right? And I think that's, like, can't take that away from somebody, but you have to earn it first.
Right.
Right? So I'm really grateful that I got to earn the opportunity to be a TACP. I was a conventional TACP. Had some of my best experiences. I was a TACP instructor. Amazing. A lot of the guys in the room were guys I put through the schoolhouse, had some part in. Then I got to go to 17th. Like, those things can't be taken away from me. So if you, and they're not, you said, like, oh, yeah, you just mentioned 17th. Yeah, 17th is awesome. I'm really proud of it. You don't get to do it unless you make a decision to try.
Right.
Right. So if you want, goodness gracious, we're on video, my man. so going back to like how you talk about like this night devolving, this night hasn't even started yet, and that is happening. So like imagine like 3 hours from now.
The cops are going to be asking for me.
Anyway, like if I would say like I never have to question if I could. Right. Because I went and did it and I tried. And I wasn't the best at everything, and I sucked at some things, and I had a hard time a lot of times. But if you don't want to have that question, and you're a 13, 17-year-old or whoever you are, you don't want to have that question about your life for the rest of your life, go be a TACP, go be SR, go be a comic controller, make the hard decision to suffer a little bit and do something exceptional.
There it is. Regret as hell, right? Don't live with that regret. Dude,
exactly.
I appreciate it. Thank you for coming on here. And, yeah,
thanks,
we'll catch you again a little bit later.
It's really fun.
We'll get more loose.
Yeah.